bring your breath back. Let's go and just
Oh no, be right here with us.
maybe not in
Yes,
the
you
shade,
can.
a little bit in the sun, just for showing you, and then you will come back here because the tree is hiding the view. So just a little bit here in the sun. So we have a better view from here. Okay, that's it, not too far. Not too far. So just to help you understand where we are, can you know where the east is, north, east, west? No? So take that as the rule. The sun in Israel always sets in the west. Okay? So that direction. You see our shadows are going
It's
this
the
way.
same in our country.
Same in your
afternoon.
country?
Yes.
You know, I'm a guide for Israel. I don't know about your country. I learned only about Israel.
Rise in the east, set in the west.
Okay, so that's good.
So this is east.
So we share the same values. That's exactly what the presidents say all the time.
Okay.
Israel and America share the same value. We have the sun rising at the same place. So, guys, all these range of mountains are the Judean mountains. Okay? Somewhere behind this tree, maybe on a clear day, we can see some of the buildings of Jerusalem. There. Okay? Here. There, maybe if you can guess, there's a town there on the top there. Far away, that's Bethlehem. And Hebron is somewhere there. Again, you see there's some construction there. Yeah, you see there's buildings, that's Hebron. So we have Jerusalem, Bethlehem, Hebron, there on the top, what we call the watershed. Remember watershed? When the rain are coming, of course the clouds coming from the west, so that behind you is the west, and we are looking eastwards. It rains on one side, and the water flows this way. When it rains on the other side, it flows to the Dead Sea. Okay? So that's the watershed, and of course the hills are on top. We have a road, we call it the road of the Patriarchs. We have mentioned the Via Maris, we have mentioned the King's Highway, and there's another road in the middle, the road of the Patriarchs. It's not a good one for armies. You have to go on the top of the mountains, up, down, every valley is an obstacle, but it's a secure one. You pass from village to village, from the north to the south, I mean from Galilee through Samaria, Judea, and then Beersheba. That's why Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, they passed here. Jesus tells his disciples, don't go through the villages of the Samaritan, that means bypass this road, because you pass through Samaria. Remember the story? And himself, he's passing through, he stops at Shechem, so it's the same road, what we call the road of the Patriarchs. And of course, Jerusalem, Bethlehem, Hebron, obviously. Who is buried in Bethlehem?
Rachel.
Rachel. And the rest of the Patriarchs are buried
Hebron.
in Hebron, yes. Did you notice I told you at Jaffa Gate, in Arabic they call it Bab el Khalil, and it means the gate of Hebron. One day it dawned on me like that. You know what means El Khalil in Arabic? The friend. And Hebron, Chaver, the friend. So Khalil, El Khalil in Arabic is a translation of Hebron. And who is the friend? The friend of God, of course? Abraham. That's it. So Hebron, and further down to the south is of course Beersheba. And we can really track the passage of Abraham all the way to settle at Beersheba. So that's the top of the hills. And now we have the lowlands, the area of the lowlands. And then behind us is a coastal plain. Can you see there? Now it's a little bit hazy, but the Mediterranean, trust me, is just there. We are halfway in the middle of Israel. Actually, we are closer to the Mediterranean than to the Jordan River. So, what do we see? Can we see coming down from the area of Bethlehem? Can you see that valley coming down here between the mountain? And we told you already, a valley is a road. It's a road. That's the most easiest. And don't forget, it's not your valleys where you have big rivers flowing. Almost no water is flowing there. Sometimes a little flash flood. So that's the valley of Elah. The Elah, the valley of the terebinth, coming down from Bethlehem to where? To here. And then it hits that mountain. And what the water does can cut through the mountain, but that takes time. The water is clever. It goes the easiest way. So it goes around the mountain and continue to the sea, normally. So there we have a kind of break. It doesn't go straight down. You see there? And so here is the continuation of the Elah, and it continues that way. So if we are at the border, that's exactly where we expect to have also the army of Saul versus the army of the Philistine. That means the battle took place in the valley. Why do we know in the valley itself, not on the hill? How do we know that?
Because David went down.
Because David went to
pick up the pebbles.
to pick pebbles. Pebbles, you find them only where the water is passing. Here you can take any stone you want, but it's not a pebble. Pebbles are down there. So the battle took place just at our feet. Maybe there was someone at the fortress here looking at what was happening. Who was it? The Philistine, probably. Or maybe somebody else. Remember, the Assyrians, the Babylonians were controlling these big tales, and maybe they did not intervene in the battle of the locals. Who knows? We don't know. So David and Goliath's story happens here. The valley of Elah, the valley of Elah becomes synonym of that battle of giants with a midget almost. And of course, we all like this story where the small and the weak, the underdog, wins. And today, sadly, Israel is presented on many medias as Goliath, and the Palestinians are David. Notice Goliath, the Philistine, and David, the Israelite. And then you turn over Goliath, the Israelite, and David, the Palestinian. Even the names are the same. You see there? So that makes a very good background to say that we are the bad ones. Not always the underdog is right, and not always he's wrong. That depends on the situation. So keep that also in mind. Sometimes the underdog is the underdog because he was the bad guy anyway, but you never know. So that's the story. Now we are going to have a teaching. What we see here is the extension of Bet Shemesh. Bet Shemesh is mostly ultra-Orthodox, and the population that grows really, really quick. Remember, big families, and Jerusalem is becoming too expensive for them. So in Bet Shemesh the prices are lower, and you can see that it's growing from there on a few miles. It's really growing. That's not Bet Shemesh exactly the center. The tail is there, but we can see it's an extension of Bet Shemesh.
It doesn't look like it's habitated.
Sorry?
It doesn't look like there's any. It's still under construction.
It's under construction, yes.
And what's that huge city over there?
Where?
Way.
Where? Hebron.
Oh, that's Hebron?
Hebron, yes. That's a huge city, we have to say. That's Hebron.
Now,
Yes.
if this is Bethlehem,
Yes.
and David's father sent him
So
there,
David's father sent him to his
brothers.
brethren who were
that
at the battle.
at the battle.
You're going to read. Ah, yes, they are training for Independence
So,
Tito, I'm
Day.
sorry. I told
tomorrow,
them.
the day after tomorrow.
I told them in 5 more minutes they were.
They will return. Yeah. So okay. So we'll finish. Good.
so coming down from Bethlehem, there's that valley.
Yes, he came down the valley. That was a road. That was a road to Ashdod, the port of the Philistine. So when Israelites wanted to deal with the Philistine, they could go to Ashdod, to the port. And Philistine wanted to deal, they have to go. So the valley was the main road connecting Bethlehem with the port of Ashdod. By the way, Hebron will have its own valley connecting to Gaza or Ashkelon. And Jerusalem has Joppa. It's like many roads, every city has its own road to the sea. And you find a big port at the end of these valleys. Okay?
Okay. Tito.
Okay, you can sit down.
Lachish. Lachish.
So Lachish is more to the south. It's the same continuation of the tell. It's just about. Let me maybe something like 10.